It's been a while since we last spoke. How's it going? I wasn't reading in all of March or April. I did not pick up a book even one time. But the second I pick up a book, I start watching booktube videos again, and suddenly I'm overwhelmed with the desire to make my own. So here we are. I'll make another video talking about the books that I read in February, because there was a few and some that I really loved and do want to talk about, but I don't want to talk about that right now because this is going to be a weekend reading vlog. Currently, right now, it is Friday the 26th of May, which means that this weekend is Memorial Day weekend. I have 3 days. And I'm going to be trying to read as much as I can in my downtime. So join me. Not much has happened since we last spoke. I would say the big thing is that I'm really into Taylor Swift now. That I didn't see coming, and I'm fully obsessed. I did not get tickets to the Eras tour, even though I have the tour sweatshirt. I did tailgate outside of all 3 nights of the Philadelphia show, so that's my new thing. 2 days ago, I finished the first book that I've read in months. It's called Primal Animals by Julie and Lynn Rubin. I hated this. It was a waste of time and super, that's my ramen, let me get that. Basically, you think Primal Animals is going to be like a fun girl gang horror novel. Like, it is horror, so I knew it wasn't going to be like skipping in fields of wildflowers, but I thought it was going to be like fun girl gang secret society stuff going on at a summer camp, right? And they're gay. And I don't know about you, but that sounds like a winner to me. Unfortunately, nothing happens for the entire first half, and then the second half, it like delivers on the horror. If you're looking for something that's like gross, I would say go for it, except for the fact that like the actual plot and the things that happen and the pace of those things happening and the emotional reactions to those things happening and the reveals, it goes so far off the rails beyond the realm of reality in like a bad way that I found it a waste of time, and I wish I hadn't purchased the hardcover. In an effort to like keep the reading ball rolling and moving in maybe a positive direction, I picked up A House with Good Bones by Kingfisher. I bought this a couple months ago, like right when it came out, and it is a Southern Gothic horror novel about a woman going back to, it's like a haunted house, I think, about a woman going to visit her mother who lives in like the grandmother's house, and suddenly she's like acting weird, and she's redecorated the whole thing to be how the grandmother liked it, not how she had it for decades, and creepy things are happening with bugs. Love that. I thought there was going to be more bug stuff in this because of the beautiful moths on the cover, but alas. 93 pages into this, and I'm definitely enjoying it so far. It took a little bit of a slow start, but once the horror really like kicked in a little bit more, I'm kind of on a roll. So my goal is to stay up as late as I need to finish this, which hopefully will help me stay up so that I actually am awake to watch live streams of the Taylor Swift show at MetLife tonight and see the surprise songs. Greetings. We're reading. I have a little friend, a buddy right here, my live stream right here, and let me actually mute that 1 second. I am right at page 140 in this, so I've read about 50 pages since we last spoke, and I'm really liking this. We've gotten into like the meat of what's happening a little bit more, and there have been a couple reveals, and I did gasp a couple times, so I'm just having a good time. I love haunted houses as just like a story concept and all the different ways that could be interpreted. And I really like this main character. Her name's Samantha. She's the ones who study bugs. I really like her. I enjoy her. It's really fun. I love to read stories of like horrible, ridiculous situations. And I love it when the main character is like a person who is equipped to handle this and is like kind of reacting as well as a person can. I know that's really basic, and I also enjoy characters who are total hot messes and can't deal and are making a mess of everything, but I just love to root for the good guy, and Sam is just like the good guy. I really like her. I don't know if anybody's keeping up with the Taylor concerts, but she's doing this thing at every show where she plays 2 surprise songs that are not on the main set list, and she's not repeating any of them. And she just played Getaway Car. I'm gonna right here insert video of me crying when it started on the live stream. I am so jealous. I can't. It's fine. Almost at 200 pages in, which means that I only have about 50 pages left. 50 to 60 pages left of this, so I should finish it pretty soon. There's been a reveal, and I haven't decided. I like it. Like, it's creepy and I'm enjoying the book. I'm not sure yet if I feel like maybe they've shown too much. I'll finish it and I'll probably talk to you again tomorrow morning. Good morning, gorgeous people. I'm in the park with Marcy for our morning walk. I just wanted to let you know that I did in fact finish A House with Good Bones last night, right before midnight, and I really liked it. The end flew by. I was reading it so fast. I think overall I'm gonna give it a solid 4. Generally, I really enjoyed the experience of reading it. I loved the characters. I thought the plot was really interesting. I thought aspects of the horror was very effective and gross, and I thought it was very cool. My only thing is that I think maybe it revealed a little too much, a little too soon. I still have to think about how I feel about it. I'm not quite sure yet, but I did very much enjoy it. Honestly, probably about the exact same as I enjoyed What Moves the Dead, which is the other T. Kingfisher book I've read. Greetings again. Pay no attention to how blown out the windows are. I couldn't tilt the camera this way because then you'd see my corner of chaos, and that is just too much for me. This is the outfit. It's this really cute, like, little dress. I got it a couple weeks ago at a secondhand store, and also these are new Vans. I needed some casual walking around shoes, and these are my favorites. I want to go read in Rittenhouse Square, which is like a park near where I live. It's supposed to be like 75 today, so it's gorgeous. I'm sunscreened. This is my bag. It was a birthday gift. Is it not the coolest thing you've ever seen? It's from the Head in Hand bookstore. But now I have to pick what book I'm gonna bring, and I'm kind of feeling, for once in my life, I'm like not kind of feeling romance. I want to read something with murder in it, or maybe sci-fi. This has basically been full since the moment that I moved in, so all the new books that I've acquired over the past few months are just like in piles on the ground, in piles over here, in piles on my kitchen table. Like, it's not looking good for me, but that's fine. Okay, what am I feeling? I've read the backs of these 3, and these are the ones that are really calling to me right now, so I'm gonna do a little mini try chapter, and I'll read the first chapter of each, and I will report back. Okay, I ended up just reading chapters from these 2 because this one really captured me. So I'm gonna be reading Look for Her by Emily Winslow. It's not too long. I think I'm gonna have to read this one as an audiobook because I read the prologue and it was fine, but then once I started reading like the actual first chapter, I was struggling because it's kind of stylized. It's written like the way this person would speak, and this person is being held in captivity and clearly did not have access to like traditional education, and sometimes I struggle with like stylized writing in that way, so it's better for me to hear it instead of read it. That is the plan. Let's go. What a perfect day to come down to Rittenhouse. They're literally having like a market, like a farmer's market with tents set up along the street. Oh my god, this is so nice. Something else I wanted to show you, I don't know if you can kind of see this building right here is where the Barnes & Noble used to be. It moved in April, and it's now like a block away from here, like 1 block up and over, and it's in the place where the Forever 21 used to be. So slightly different vibe, no longer have a public bathroom. But I might be heading over there today because I think I want to buy a copy of What Moves the Dead to kind of start a T. Kingfisher collection, which I think would be nice. I just realized I never told you what this is about. So I looked it up on Goodreads, and it turns out it's the 4th book
in a series, which is not indicated on here at all. But I think it's one of those series where it's just like the detectives are the same, but you can read them out of order. So hopefully it's fine. But apparently this is about, in 1976, a teenage girl named Annalise Wood disappeared, and it was a mystery. Like, nobody understood like what happened to her, and there were a lot of like theories that maybe she had run away or whatever. But a couple decades later after that, her body is discovered, and it's like, oh, she's been dead since the moment she disappeared. But now, decades after that, the DNA evidence has come to light that is implying that the body that was discovered and has presumed to be Annalise's for years may not be hers, and there's more going on here. So that is kind of the vibe. The very first chapter is the transcript of like a therapy appointment, and it's basically a monologue from this girl named Annalise, who was named after Annalise, and like her experience, what it was like growing up in the town that Annalise was from, where the person she was named after was like this very personal celebrity to everybody in the town. And like, she was named Annalise because her mother was also a teenager when Annalise disappeared, and kind of had this like reverence for her. So that was a very interesting start, and I'm gonna get into it now. Hello. It's been like an hour and a half, and I'm 100 pages in. Took a couple breaks, played a couple games on my phone, but the story is definitely moving along. You have the perspective of the two police officers, Morris and Chloe, and I guess they're the ones that the series follows. And then you also have a third perspective that is Lori, and she is the therapist who, some of her chapters are just transcripts, like written in like a different font, just transcripts of her sessions with certain people coming to see her. And then some chapters are her actual narrative where she's reflecting on those things, and you get some of her backstory and some of her thoughts. I feel like the actual investigating part isn't progressing as fast as I thought it would. The back of the book implies that the body that was discovered in the 90s and was presumed to be Annalise isn't her, and that has not come up yet, and I'm 100 pages in. So this book is only like 275 pages, 278 pages, so I'm more than a third through, and something that seems to be pretty major hasn't happened yet, but I'm definitely enjoying it. I think it's really easy to read, and I'm gonna go get a little coffee and then come back to the park.
Hello, I'm back home. I got these beautiful flowers at the market in the park. So I'm gonna put these in a vase, but first I wanna show you what I got at Barnes & Noble. So what I went for, What Moves the Dead by Kingfisher. I read this in January and I really enjoyed it, and I've been thinking about it a lot, so I wanted my own copy. I first was annoyed because I couldn't find it in the horror section, like it wasn't with the rest of her books, but it was out on a table, so I found it eventually. Beautiful cover, and then look at these end pages. I'm obsessed. Like, that is gorgeous. And the house on the cover, holy shit, that is beautiful. It's gonna go right on the shelf next to A House with Good Bones. And then while I was there, because it's impossible for me to just buy one book, I also bought She Is a Haunting. This is another YA horror, which I know I didn't have much luck with Primal Animals, but this is a haunted house, and I know because, again, the amazing end pages. Oh my god, like, this is gorgeous. This was one of my anticipated releases for the year just because it sounded really cool and had a beautiful cover, and now I own it, so I'll probably read this pretty soon. I was gonna get a third book, and then I was like, no, I need to relax. I'm trying to read my physical TBR. I don't know if you've noticed from the books that I've mentioned of wanting to read in this video, but I'm trying to read my physical TBR, and I think it's at like 120 books, 127 books right now. I'm trying not to add to it too much, but I couldn't resist. And I got $5 off because I have the free Barnes & Noble membership, and I guess I've spent enough money there that I got $5 off, which I think means I've spent $100 there in the past like 2 months, but that's fine. And I'm gonna go put this in a little vase now, and then I'm gonna take my dog on a walk. Sometimes you don't have a vase, so you just use a cup. But honestly, I think it still looks nice, so that's fine. Hello, it's been many an hour. The last time we spoke was around 2 o'clock, and it is now 9, and I just finished Look for Her by Emily Winslow. First, I thought it was gonna be a thriller, and it was definitely a mystery. Secondly, I feel like there was too many perspectives, not in that it wasn't an effective way to tell the story, but I just don't feel like there was really a main character. I think ostensibly, according to the back of the book, the main characters are Morris Keene and Chloe Froman, the police detectives. But really, I feel like the emotional main character of this book was the therapist. It just didn't feel very focused. And then I will say the reveal was like a chapter-long dialogue info dumping where the general mystery was revealed. Overall, like, it's not like I read it and was like, I don't like this. But I also read it and was like, okay. You know, so I think it's like a 3. Like, I'm gonna rate it a 3 on Goodreads, but it's actually like a 2.75. You know what I mean? Like a truly average book that had some like annoying things that lowered a little bit. You definitely do not need to read these like in order of the series. I am glad I finished this. This is, I think, my 28th book of the year, so I'm getting close to 30. I'm trying to read 100 books this year, and according to Goodreads, I am 12 books behind, so slowly making my way back on track. I am going to be staying up again to watch the Taylor Swift concert on live stream. She's just started Reputation era right now, which means that I still have like an hour until the surprise songs, and I'm going to stay up to watch it, so I need something else to read. And I think I'm finally, because I don't know if you remember, I talked about this in a vlog months ago, I think I'm finally gonna read Hell Follows With Us. I want something a little bit lighter. Not that I think this is lighter, because this is a YA horror novel about a trans boy escaping a religious cult and like the apocalypse, and I think this is supposed to be like horror, like it goes there. But I feel like the cover and kind of the YA tone is going to feel a little bit more vibrant, maybe is the word that I'm looking for, than this, which was just like a very plain, solid, like effective mystery. The light in this apartment is so god-awful. Anyway, I've been moisturized and serumed, and I'm shiny and hydrated. And I wanted to say one thing before I start. I don't know where it went. Before I start this, I want to say one good thing that I actually really liked about Look for Her. The communication between the police officers. One of my biggest pet peeves, and I understand it creates tension, it creates conflict. One of my biggest annoyances in any genre, any book of any genre that has any sort of mystery or investigation involved in the plot at all, is when people who are on the same team are deliberately withholding information from each other. When open communication would be like the most helpful thing. Like it is the most annoying thing in the world to me. This book, there was never even one time where there was conflict over communication. I appreciated that so much. I hate when people are withholding information for no reason. So good on you, Emily Winslow, although I'm not going to read any more of your books. Taylor is about to play the surprise song, so I'm going to get cozy in bed and sign off for the night. I wanted to let you know that I'm like 33 pages in, and I think that's about 4 chapters, and I like it so far. It is gory. It is gory. There is a content warning like letter from the author at the beginning, which I think was really, like, it's not just a list, it's like a beautifully written letter to the reader. And definitely some body horror, also some eldritch-esque horror, which I enjoy. So I have good feelings, although it's definitely like bloody so far. Feeling good about it, and I'm gonna try and finish it tomorrow, but I'll let you know. Good night. So it's 1 p.m. the next day. I haven't read anything today, so maybe I can only keep a streak going 2 days. I'm headed to the park again, but I'm actually going for knitting group. The yarn store is closed today because of Memorial Day weekend, which, you know, totally fine, but we still love doing knitting group and stuff. So a bunch of us are going to Rittenhouse Park, and I guess I'll take you along with me. I'm gonna take my book. I'm planning on hanging out after the knitting group as well. So yeah, it'll be fun. It'll be nice. I'm excited. I'm taking the same bag. I also need to go to a thrift store. I want to get some cute, like, funky little vases because I don't want to have to do this with my flowers again when it could look cooler. So, yay! I have the cutest little baby. Oh, that's not a very cute face. That's her little nose freckle. Can you see it? She's like, why are you in my face? Oh, little baby. You gonna give me a kiss? No, just lick yourself right next to my hand. Okay, that's fine. I also forgot to mention that I did get the audiobook for Drive Your Plow Over the Bones of the Dead, which is what I wanted to listen to a few weeks ago, and then just, like, I guess didn't hit the borrow button, so I ended up having to wait 2 weeks instead of getting it right away. But I might listen to that while I'm walking around today.
You're such a good girl. Yeah, you're such a good
She just likes to break it and chew on it.
girl. What could be better except for me, right?
Yeah, and then not be afraid
Hello.
that some people don't like them.
Bless you.
Or they don't like them to come up to them.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
It is many an hour later. It's like 9:45, and I haven't read Hell Follows With Us at all, but I did get 20% into Drive Your Plow Over the Bones of the Dead by Olga Tokarczuk. I honestly don't know what the plot of this book is. Like, I know generally it starts with a death. It's about a very isolated community in a very, very cold climate. I forget what country it's based in, or it's set in, because it's translated. And there are these 3 year-round residents, the main character, a woman, and then 2 men. And the book starts with one of the men waking her up in the middle of the night and saying that their neighbor has died. And I honestly couldn't tell you what the plot is, but I've heard that it kind of has like weird, off-putting vibes, and I'm kind of like feeling that right now. And I also really like the cover, so I'm reading it, and honestly I like it so far. I like the narrator. Like, it's translated, but the narrator also has an accent, so you kind of feel like you're still getting the story the way it was meant to be told, rather than fully like an American accent, which of course wouldn't make sense anyway because the book takes place in a different country, so of course they would have an accent, but you know what I mean. I also have a headache. I was like just in a good mood, and it's nice weather, so I had like a beer cocktail and did my makeup, and I don't really drink that often, so I can have literally 1 alcoholic beverage and I will experience like hangover symptoms. So like I get a headache immediately if I'm not like trying to get drunk, you know what I mean? And I don't like getting drunk, so every time I try to drink I get a headache. Like, I can't just enjoy a nice cocktail on a Sunday. So I'm gonna shower and then cozy up and maybe read a little bit of my book. Maybe not. I don't have work tomorrow, so I can still try and finish one of those 2 books that I've started today tomorrow. So a little disappointed that I didn't finish like a book every day of this weekend, but I also like was doing stuff today and didn't feel like reading, so I'm not gonna punish myself for relaxing. Good morning. I'm feeling much better than I was last night. It's about 10 o'clock on Monday, so it's Memorial Day,
and I am just packing up my bag so that it's ready to go when I need to go to the train station later. I'm leaving in about an hour, and my plan is to knit on the train and listen to more of Drive Your Plow Over the Bones of the Dead. And I'm about 30% in now. I'm enjoying it. I don't feel like I'm not like loving it, but it's definitely interesting. I think I said earlier that it starts with a woman being woken up in the middle of the night because her neighbors died. But I think generally the vibe of the story is that people are going to continue to die, and she believes that it's like the animals taking revenge on the people for like what they are doing to them, like hunters, etc. So I'm kind of into that. I'm excited to see. The second person has just died, so I think it's like really gonna kick into gear now, which is nice. And I will keep you updated. I'll let you know how it goes. I haven't updated you since yesterday. I had a really nice time hanging out with family, and I was just kind of chilling. I also didn't really listen to much more of Drive Your Plow Over the Bones of the Dead yesterday. I got about halfway through, and then I finished it up today, so I thought that I would wrap up this little vlog and see how, you know, my reading was this weekend. I have to say that, unfortunately, in the end, I did not really enjoy reading Drive Your Plow Over the Bones of the Dead, which has such a fucking cool name. Like, that is the coolest title I've ever heard. But I just found it kind of plotless and meandering, and it was a lot of internal monologue, not quite a stream of consciousness way, but just in a very, like, internally focused. It was really about the main character's thoughts and feelings, and I don't know, it just wasn't what I was expecting. I think I was expecting it to be a little bit more mystery, a little bit less literary, and it truly is just like literary fiction with kind of murder somehow involved in this premise, you know what I mean? I did think the ending was interesting, but overall the reading experience, like I ended up bumping the audiobook speed up to 3 times speed, which is never a good sign because I only do that when I'm trying to like get something over with. So yeah, that wasn't great. I'm glad I read it. It's been on my want to read list for a really long time, which is one of the reasons I'm also so disappointed, because it does sound so cool and it has such a good cover. But yeah, I think in the end I'm gonna have to give it like a 2.5, and that is purely just on personal enjoyment and experience. Like, I can objectively see that it is a well-written book, and it did win the Nobel Prize for Literature, but it unfortunately just wasn't for me, so that sucks. But I did have another couple wins this weekend. I finished A House with Good Bones, which I loved. I think I'm gonna give this like 4.25 stars, which is about what I gave What Moves the Dead, which is over there on my bookshelf. So this was a win for me. I'm very excited to read more from Kingfisher. Love her. And then Look for Her, which I'm going to give like 2.75, which is a very similar score to, or rating to, Drive Your Plow Over the Bones of the Dead. But I did enjoy this more just because it just was more plotty and like had more momentum, I felt like. So it was like a 2.75, but rounded up to a 3 on Goodreads. And then I did start Hell Followed With Us. I haven't read any more of this. I put the audiobook on hold from the library, so if I don't, I'm gonna keep reading this, but if I don't finish this before I get the audiobook, I can just finish it off with the audio. And that is what I did this weekend. Honestly, very happy with this. It feels good to be reading again. I'm always searching for balance in my hobbies. I think you've noticed that reading and YouTube kind of come in waves for me. Well, I'll be like really committed for a couple months, and then I literally will not even look at a book for 3 months. And I'm trying to get a little bit more consistency and balance in my life in all aspects. Let me know what you've been reading, if you've read any of these books, what you thought of them, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!